Hello and welcome. My name is Denke, and today case study is really interesting. It's about rewriting your life story. Perhaps you notice being caught between obligation and freedom. Integrating past experiences while designing your next chapter is really essential for authentic living, and this is why this case study is so interesting.
This is a story about the hidden architecture of a life transition. It's not about logistics or visas. It's about the competing narratives that can fracture an identity just when you need it to be most resilient. We're sharing this composite case study drawn from real client situations to illustrate a critical, often overlooked risk in moving abroad, the civil war within your own story. Our client was a textbook success. A senior executive in finance, he had spent 3 decades building a formidable career. Now, on the cusp of retiring to Thailand, he found himself paralyzed. He was trapped between two irreconcilable scripts. The first was the story of the provider. It was a narrative of duty, stability, and relentless ambition. He had built his fortune and secured his family's future. It was a story of delayed gratification for a later reward. The second, however, was the story of the artist. It was a narrative he had suppressed for years, one of freedom, creativity, and spontaneous living. He envisioned mornings spent painting, not analyzing market trends. These two stories weren't coexisting. They were in a zero-sum battle for his identity. One represented his past, the other, a terrifyingly unstructured future. The conflict was creating a state of intense analysis paralysis, threatening to derail the entire relocation project. Our framework reframes this internal conflict not as an emotional problem, but as a strategic one. It's a form of human capital due diligence. We guided David to externalize these competing narratives, treating them like two distinct business plans for the next phase of his life. He had to map out the assets, liabilities, and potential returns of each. What had the provider story given him? Security, respect, discipline. What were its liabilities? Stress, sacrificed passions, a feeling of being straitjacketed. This method allowed him to honor the old story for the assets it had built, rather than resent it for its constraints. From there, he could begin the work of integration, rewriting a new, unified narrative. This wasn't about choosing one story over the other. It was a merger and acquisition of the self. The new script integrated the discipline of the provider with the freedom of the artist, creating a blueprint for a life in Thailand that was both purposeful and creatively fulfilling. The outcome replaced guilt and confusion with a powerful sense of continuity. David saw himself not as two different people at war, but as a single individual entering a new, deliberately authored chapter. For anyone contemplating such a move, the lesson is uncompromising. Your financial portfolio is secure, but have you audited the portfolio of stories that define who you are? Neglecting this is the most dangerous risk of all.
Create a coherent and fulfilling new story that fits you perfectly. Just schedule your consultation to start your transformation right away.